Hey guys, it's Steven. I'm super excited to have you on here today. I got a really cool one for you guys today. A lot of people have been asking me recently, Steven, are there better times than others to invest in the stock market? And actually, we did find out a couple for you guys. So I love this photo here. You'd be smiling too if you knew how easy it was. I think one of the things that deters people from making money in the stock market and be able to actually open up their own account and invest is they feel like it's so difficult to make money. One of the things that we do at Stony Brook Securities is to show you guys the easy way how to do it. So my hope here is by the end of this video, and it shouldn't take too long, I'm going to give you guys an awesome strategy that's really easy. That's not going to take a ton of time. That's going to make you smile because you're going to know how easy it is. So we have about 195 people on this webinar right now. Give me a one to say hello. There we go. Hey Jerry, how you doing? Bob, good to see you again. Joe, you're on every single one of our videos. You're crazy. All right. So anyway, for most people do know me, but for those who don't know me, my name is Stephen Brooks, and I'm an investor coach. I've been seen on Forbes, Money Magazine, Barron's, and CNBC. And I don't really like to talk about my accolades or how I've done in the past or all the publications I've been on. I just want to let you guys know that the top level stuff, I've been on it. So one of the problems that people have before they get into investing is that they feel like they don't have enough time to invest. Now, I completely understand that. Investing, financial markets are a really big beast. Um, in a given day, there are tens of trillions of dollars that change hands. I mean, that's pretty overwhelming. And at the same time, they're global markets. It's a 24/7 market nowadays, especially with the advent of some of the great technologies. So I get it. And a lot of people say it takes 10,000 hours to really learn something and master something. And that people think that really holds true in investing. And especially it might even take more because it's such a big thing. There's so much competition. Um, but I'm here today to tell you that it takes far less time, far less time to make money in the stock market. How many of you guys want to learn how to make money in the stock market by not spending a lot of time? Awesome. And the next question I have for you is, do you have 5 minutes every 3 months? How many of you guys have 5 minutes in the next 3 months? Give me a one in the chat if you guys do. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Wow. Wait, I want to sit here and count. Yeah, there you go. So that's like 80, 70. That's like 80 people. That's awesome. That's great. That's almost half the people on this. That's awesome. There you go. It's trickling in. I'm sure everyone's going to do it. But how many of you have 5 minutes every 3 months? How many of you guys want to hear about a strategy that's going to make you guys money only spending 5 minutes every 3 months? There you go. Exactly. How awesome is that? So what's my goal here for this video? So a lot of people, obviously with stock market again, big, overwhelming, a lot of fear of losing money. They say they can't do it. And in this case specifically, and what we're talking about in this video is most people feel like they don't have enough time to do it. Because they don't have enough time to master the market or to learn strategies or to research companies or to know about geopolitical events, they don't have enough time to invest. But the truth is, you can. So we're going to take that can't do attitude and we're going to turn it into a can do attitude by saving you time. That's a really big deal. A lot of people would invest in the stock market if it didn't take so much time in their opinion. And just like my buddy Glenn here, so Glenn is one of my first students, and he was always interested in the market. He would watch CNBC because it's an entertaining show, but he never really wanted to get in. He felt like all the commentators on CNBC knew so much more about him. They had been in the markets for like 40 years, so they knew so much more than him, and there was no way he'd ever be able to actually compete in markets where they were. And I totally get that. However, I showed Glenn this same strategy and the same study that I'm going to end up showing you guys here in about 2 minutes that really opened his eyes. And the cool part about this is that for the last, so he's been one of my students for over 2 years now, and he only spends about an hour a year investing, and he kills it. He makes like 18% a year. I mean, how many people would love to make 18% a year just spending an hour a year? Exactly. Yeah, there you go. That's so cool. That is so cool. Yeah, so it's great. So what I want to talk to you about today in terms of not having to spend so much time investing and to saving you time to actually make a lot of money is this concept of buy the rumor and sell the news. So how many people have heard of buy the rumor, sell the news? Put a one in the chat if you've heard of buy the rumor, sell the news. There you go. Yeah, exactly. So buy the rumor, sell the news is a concept of people buying rumors. So there's a lot of rumors on Wall Street. It's very difficult to have something not be known, especially with social media and the internet. It's very difficult for something not to get out in the public. So they buy the rumor into a specific binary event. So a binary event is a one-time event, right? A one-day event. So they buy the rumor into that, and there's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of hype. There's people feeling really really good about it. And what typically happens is these stocks that are part of these rumors will go higher up until this binary event because people are really really thinking it's going to work out really well. And then once that event happens, they sell off because the expectation or what they were looking to see happen in that binary event isn't as good, and there's no more rumor to really inflate the stock. And we see this a lot in acquisition. So if company A is thinking about buying company B, both stocks might go up because there's a lot of hype about it. And then once the acquisition comes through, it sells off because there's nothing to do there. And the same with FDA approvals for drug companies, jobs numbers. Same thing there, but what I want to talk specifically today is about earnings. So, how many people know about earnings here? Give me a one if you guys know about earnings. There you go. Yeah. So, looks like a lot of people know about earnings. And the interesting thing about earnings is every single public company has to give quarterly earnings to Wall Street once every 3 months, so once a quarter. And those quarterly earnings go to analysts, they go to publications, and they go to shareholders. And then those numbers and those earnings reports give everyone an understanding of the lifeblood of the company and specifically how the company did in the last month and how they project to do over the next year. And so really just a lot of data and statistics about the companies. And one of the really interesting thing is every single quarter these companies give their earnings, and typically buy the rumor, sell the news plays really really true there. So what's funny about buy the rumor, sell the news is that most of these videos we make are to disprove some belief that Wall Street has. So we look at data, we do a study like we did here, and I'll show you in a second. We look at data and we disprove some of the things that Wall Street says. This one actually works. So buying the rumor, sell the news actually works. So because buying the rumor, sell the works, do you guys want to find out how to make money from it? There you go. Yep. So it looks like a lot of people want to learn how to make money from this. Great. So we're going to show you the rest of this video how to make money from the concept of buy the rumor, sell the news. And like most things that we do here, we want to get data from the past, not because it's going to predict the future, but data in the past will give us confidence and reasonable expectations about these strategies moving forward. So again, if we had a strategy that doubled our money every single year, it doesn't mean it's going to double our money moving forward. However, it gives us pretty good confidence that hey, it looks like a good strategy and we can move forward with it. So what we did here, and again, this strategy is to prove that buying the rumor, selling the news is a great strategy and exactly when to do it. So what we did is we went back the last 27 years in the S&P 500, right? 27 years of data. That's a lot of data. And the reason we did it in the S&P 500 is twofold. Number one is the public data is really easy to get for the S&P 500. And number two, it's the most viewed index in the stock market. It gives you a nice snapshot of 500 large popular companies, some technology, some energy, some manufacturing, some healthcare, some consumer staples. So it gives you a really nice diversified look at the overall stock market. So we do it in the S&P 500. Now, to show that buying the rumor, selling the news is a good idea, what we did is we bought the first month of every single quarter and we sold at the end of that first month. So remember, companies give their earnings once a quarter. It typically doesn't happen in the first few weeks of the quarter. So the news is happening typically after the first quarter of the month, especially with the most popular companies. So we are buying the rumor of earnings being really, really good here, if that makes sense. And then we're going to compare it to what if we bought the third quarter after the news was out and then sold it at the end of the quarter? How would that be? Right? So how would that be? So let's take a look. Again, we're buying the rumor here. We're not necessarily selling the news, but we're either buying the rumor or we're buying the news, right? So when we're buying the first month, we're buying the rumor. We're buying the third month, we're buying the news, and we're going to see how they work out. You guys ready? You guys want to see the results? Give me one if you want to see the results. There you go. Okay. Okay. Ready? Good. So here's a chart. Here's the information. First, take a look at the gray line. So the gray line is buying the news. Think about it that way. So it's buying the third month of every quarter. So at that point, most of the companies have given their earnings announcements. So there are less rumors out there. Everyone's already given their data. If you had $10,000 in an account back in 1990, it's now worth about $15,000. By the way, 50% is a great return on your investment. I would take that any day of the week. However, buying the rumor, which is the first month of every single quarter, and then selling at the end of that month, had triple the returns. So if you started with $10,000, you ended with $25,000. So you were 3 times more profitable in this scenario buying the S&P 500 in the first month of every quarter as opposed to the third month of every quarter. So the way to think about it is buying the S&P 500 in terms of buying the rumor, selling the news of overall earnings is 3 times more profitable than the other way around, right? So this graph here gives proof that buying the rumor, selling the news does work. So now let's break it down to the numbers real quick. So if we bought the S&P in the third month of the quarter, we gained about 52%. Again, that's a really great return. And we were right 54% of the time, more than half. I mean, that's really good. And we averaged about 0.15% every single quarter. These aren't bad numbers. However, it's more advantageous and more profitable for us if we bought the first month of the quarter. We could see we made 3 times as much money. We made about 150%. Instead of being right about half the time, we were right 2/3 of the time, and we made about 0.44% every single quarter. So this is really, really valuable stuff. Remember, this was back tested for 27 years. That's a really big sample size. And in that time, we saw a lot of ups, we saw a lot of downs. So we have seen both sides of the market. It hasn't just been an up market in this time. We saw the bubble burst of the dot-com bubble at 2000, and then 2008, 2009 was an ugly, ugly, ugly financial crisis. So again, the numbers show that buying the rumor and selling the news does work. All right, so how are we going to do it? Well, for starters, it's very difficult for non-professional traders and investors to invest in the S&P 500 itself. So the best way to do it is to invest in SPY. So that's the S&P 500 index ETF. It tracks point for point, tick for tick with the S&P 500. The only caveat is it's a tenth of the size. So if the S&P 500 is trading for 2,000, SPY is going to trade for $200 a share. And remember, this trade, we're buying the rumor and then selling the news. So let's buy the rumor. So the first day of the quarter, so the first trading day in January, the first trading day in April, first trading day in July, the first trading day in October, we're going to buy SPY. And we're going to get out of there before the news even hits, right? So we're going to, the last day of the first month, so the last day in January, the last day in April, the last trading day in July, the last trading in October, we're going to sell those shares. That's literally it. That is it. That is buying the rumor and selling before the news even happens. So here's what SPY looks like. To do this, it's going to cost you $242 for one share. That's it. That's all it's going to take. Now, a lot of people are saying, Steven, what do I do for the rest of the year? Well, I don't know. Go to a beach. Hang out. You've made your money. You make 150% on this, and it's 3 times more profitable than other months. So, you can go to the beach. And again, here's the expectations. We're buying the rumor, and we're getting out before the news even hits. That's the orange line. The gray line is buying the news. We don't want to do that. We want to make as much money as possible. So the truth is, look, a lot of people are saying, Steven, I don't have enough time. But this takes only a couple minutes every couple months. So what are you waiting for? And I know, and I hope, it's just because what I'm reading in the chat is a lot of you guys are saying, you know what, this is pretty easy. It's not going to take you, it doesn't take you 10,000 hours to learn this. You just learned it in the last 10 minutes. So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Really? What are you waiting for here? There's nothing holding you back. You can commit to this, you can take action, and you can absolutely do this. All you can do it. So let's recap one last time exactly how to do this, right? So we're going to invest in SPY because it's difficult to invest in the S&P 500. SPY is the S&P 500 index ETF. It tracks the exact same price movements, just 1/10 of the price. On the first day of the first month of every quarter, so the first day of January, first day in April, first day in July, first day in October, we're going to buy SPY, right? So we bought our shares. We have it now. Then on the last day of the first month, so January, the last trading day in January, we're going to sell the shares that we bought in the first trading day of January and so on for April, July, and October. All right, we're going to do that, and we're going to rinse and repeat that. We're going to rinse and repeat that till the cows come home, and we can expect to make 3 times as much money by buying the rumor and not selling the news, selling before the news, as opposed to buying the news. So super happy you guys could be on here. just looking by the chat, there's been a lot of great feedback. I'm super excited about this. This doesn't take more than just a few minutes every couple months. It's really awesome. You don't need crazy amounts of time to make money in the stock market. We just proved it. We just proved it to you. If you have any questions, email me at steven@stonybrooksecurities.com. I'll try to answer in 24 hours. This is great stuff. I hope everyone takes action, commits to this, and starts making some money.